Hello and welcome back to Spiritual Soul Centre. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's really nice to see you all, and I'm not going to be on too long today. As a lot of you guys know, I am awaiting a transitional period in my life into my journey into motherhood. So you may not see me as often on these YouTube videos over the next couple of weeks. I don't know why my face is going like a telly screen. That's really strange, like one of them old screens. It's like the frequencies is changing on the screen. Anyways, so I may not be as frequently available, and you may not see my face as much on YouTube over the next couple of weeks, going into Christmas time. But I'm sure I will still have some availabilities to pop on and connect in with you guys over the next few months. It just may not be as regularly as used to. But before that, I just wanted to tap into the full moon energy of September, and I wanted to give my interpretation and my energetic reflections of September and what's going to be coming for us in October. I do feel personally that this full moon, obviously for myself, as well, is all about transitional periods and transitional energy within self. So I do think that that is a really key theme for the collective as well, is the transitional energy that is going on right now from the caterpillar chrysalis into the butterfly. So I definitely feel that what's going on within the energetic frequencies is aligning us to reflect on where we need to declutter, where we need to remove any old stagnant energy, and quite frankly, just get rid of everything out of our energetic sphere that is no longer energetically aligned to us and is not connecting to our heart frequency and is not something that we are actually enjoying having in our auric field. So it is definitely about making room for the expansions to come. So I do feel that October is going to be a month of quite large expansions, of quite deep integrations of higher selves, fractals with higher self, past lifetimes, skills and abilities and memories that we haven't had access to for a long time. I do feel that October is quite a time that we are going to be making room for them integrations to be coming into the physical body. Because don't forget, the physical body is its own sovereign being of its own self. It's its own frequency, it's its own vessel, separate from the soul. So the soul can know this information, the soul can have resonance with these other fractals and parts of self, but then the body still needs to have that kind of acceptance and that frequency alignment with these aspects of self to be able to integrate that into the human experience. So we have to shed everything that's no longer serving us. And that can be friends, people, jobs, family members, certain dynamics of relationships, between, again, family members, friends, work people, different types of emotional relationships, patterns and programs that are in place that are outdated, and limiting beliefs and fears that are stopping us from actually getting them expansions and them upgrades and them deeper activations. So it is about really, really reflecting right now. If your body was a house and you was going in that house to declutter it, what would you keep there? What kind of morals, values, perspectives, dreams, ideologies, beliefs would you keep there as ones that resonate with you now in this now moment and in your heart frequency? And which ones are you holding on to that you've learned from other people, that someone else gave you as a present, if you will? Like, you're keeping all these gifts, all these programs and patterns that were instilled by other people, by other people's actions, behaviors, pain, and their choices that they made to put upon you, or either what you've observed in them. And it is about then recognizing, is that mine? Is that a frequency that matches my own? Do I believe that? Am I holding on to that? Is this benefiting me? Basically, is what we want to ask. So I would definitely have a reflection on what we hold within our house, within our vessel, within our physical body, our mind, body, spirit, and soul. And it is about having that declutterization and release of stagnant, low vibrational energy that's just not benefiting us and that's just not in the highest good to the heart frequency for your soul expansion. So basically, to make room for these new frequencies and this new energy to come in, we do have to do the work on at least identifying, acknowledging, and attempting to release some of these either people, problems, patterns, programs, beliefs that are existing in our current life that are blocking us from feeling whole, fulfilled, connected, powerful, freedom, loved. You know, all these words that resonate with our higher frequency and our higher heart. We want to be feeling them rather than drained, exhausted, suppressed, you know, not feeling of the best that we could be. And there's always going to be a journey, there's always going to be an expansion. But if you are constantly living in that exchange of lower vibrational frequencies on a day-to-day basis, your whole overall frequency is going to drop to a lower level. So it is about recognizing how you can implement changes and tweaks to your daily life to bring in this higher vibrational feelings of love and freedom and peace and power, so that you can start to actually tap into that frequency on a daily basis. So it's also pretty clear where our needs are not being met and where there may be unequal exchanges going on in certain dynamics of relationships, family members, and also even judgment. So the timelines are shifting, the timelines are splitting at this moment in time, which means the people around us might not be on our frequency, as we know, but they might not even be in that kind of radius, that gap of frequency. So what this is going to mean is there's really going to be a lack of understanding, and maybe even in times a resistance. And what this resistance can mean is possibly confrontation, judgment, even to the extent of maybe attempted medicalization of people, and trying to understand it so much in the human form that they're really damaging that being, and they're really enforcing a sense of suppression and negativity over someone that is not doing any harm to anyone else other than expanding their consciousness. And we all know how difficult that journey could be. And if the world was a different place, which I know it's not, which is why certain interventions are necessary sometimes, but if it was a different place where we did hold space for people and we did communicate, and the more we stood in our truth, the more it felt other people felt able to stand in theirs, and to be able to lean on each other and communicate at these times, instead of everybody living in fear of judgment and criticism and resentment and resistance and fear. It's all boils down to fear. But I understand that people have to go through journeys at their own time and their own like pathways, and I fully get that. But it is about observing where and what is going on with the different frequencies right now, because there is a clear gap now, I think, between those that are working on being in heart frequency, doing the energy work, doing the shadow work, working on their inner child, and actually consenting and choosing to do the work, even if that may be mainly subconscious and they're doing it from observations. You can, I think there's a clear knowing now between who's doing that and who's not and who's choosing to still resonate out of fear and jealousy and anger, and really kind of trying to put that on other people to try and make themselves feel better, and try and to explain and kind of justify their own emotions and project that onto other people. But it's really, I think it's really clear now and able to observe that difference in frequencies. So I think it's about being kind of having discernment and awareness on the different gaps of frequencies that are going on right now, and knowing that you have to stay in your heart frequency, stay in that frequency. And I don't mean, oh, you have to, I mean, to maintain a sense of levelness and peace throughout this transitional period, it's about returning back to the heart, returning back to the heart center, and allowing yourself to find that vibration again to bring that into the physical world. So I definitely think what's coming up in terms of that with the new moon is it's becoming really clear where there's an unequal exchange. The truth is being shown, the deeper layers are being exposed, and it's about us now making a choice on what we then do with that information moving forward. Like, do we choose to kind of take that as what we know and adapt and move and grow with that, or do we kind of have resistance and fear over what that means in terms of expressing and communicating, which is something that is definitely coming up for this full moon. Expressing our true needs, expressing what we need out of certain relationships and friendships, and being able to own that within self without shame. That's a massive one, because when we're in the shame and the anxiety, we have then that other people can put that on us, and we resort to the inner teen and we get very defensive and closed walls, which shuts down the line of communication because it's already going into that kind of argumentative energy. So I would definitely recommend reflecting upon how you want to communicate, what you're trying to communicate, and what it is you're actually asking for. Make sure you know that in your mind before just kind of projecting out that emotional energy and baggage. Make sure you're kind of asking what frequency and what kind of alignment is this energy coming from, and can you communicate that in a way that feels a little bit more centered to the heart and also kind of more gentle to the person that's on the receiving end of the communication, because it can simply be implementing a boundary, but the boundary is then implemented in a way of kind, loving communication rather than implemented out of frustration and exhaustion and at the last wit's end. So then a boundary has been put in place with more kind of force than was intended, but sometimes it's from feeling backed into a corner. So it is about recognizing how to communicate things in a way that's different to what we've used in the past to create a different outcome at a faster pace and break older, outdated cycles and patterns that we may be stuck in regards to communication with either certain people, relationships, family members, friends, co-workers. It is about reflecting on what patterns and programs we are holding in them cycles and being able to observe and reflect upon them and hopefully break them as well. Also, what's being brought up in this full moon is having to let go of the illusion of time. So for so long in our matrix, we have had to rely on the concept of time to manage and micromanage and control our human life and activities and our daily flow. Whereas now most people that are stepping into the heart-centered energy and working with higher frequencies know that when you're in your most divine connection to source is when you're in the universal flow, and that's usually when it's not gone to plan and it's gone the other way and the universe kind of shows you the way that it should go. So it is about letting go of what the concept of time even means. Why is it so important? Why is there so much pressure on it? And in my life personally, obviously I'm not pressuring the time and people close to me are not pressuring the time, but I've noticed, being later on in pregnancy, there is then this kind of build up from people around me with this time pressure and this kind of fear in regards to this concept of time. And it really makes me laugh how that only comes within the last week or two, because that's when the trigger of fear is taught to set in for these people. And I think it's important to reflect on that. Like, why, what is the time limit for? What is the restriction there for? Especially in terms of like pregnancy, in terms of what is the baby late for? There is no late. It knows when it's ready. It can grow itself the whole way. It knows when it's ready to be born. So that's just one example, but also, the concept of arranging things at a certain time and then they keep getting rescheduled, and then when they do happen, they're in pure divine alignment at that time, because that's exactly when them frequencies were aligned to meet and aligned to do that work together. So sometimes it is just for us to let go of the control a little bit and let go of what the concept of time actually means and learn to live a little bit more in flow with the universal's plan and the universal energy, and learn to incorporate more free-flowing time into our daily routine, as well as scheduled, structured plans. And yeah, also questioning, again, different layers of stepping in our power. So October is definitely going to be a month about that, of having to step in your power and remember the power of your voice and remember the power of owning your truth and standing in that and not feeling any shame or embarrassment or judgment for that, because a lot of that is a reflection from self when we're seeing that in other people. So it is about reflecting on what it is your truth. Find your truth and stand in that, and don't allow fear to overtake and make decisions on behalf of that feeling, that knowing, that truth. Don't allow fear to overtake that and manipulate that and become the center of frequency of your decision making. and notice who around you. I've noticed a lot of people get triggered by my simple lack of fear in certain situations, and my simple lack of kind of control that the system has over me, I suppose. You know, it doesn't, I don't fear the things that we are conditioned and taught to fear. I have moments of fleeting anxiety and fear, like every human, I think, does. But I don't choose to hold on to that vibration as my own frequency, and I don't choose to make that my truth. So it is about recognizing why that triggers people and why that makes people feel so uncomfortable. Because when you're triggered in that level, when you feel that sense of something's not right in my soul or something feels heightened, your body is trying to communicate with you. Your body is trying to communicate maybe your fears and your restrictions and your limitations that maybe you need to look into a little bit more as to that's why that's making you feel so uncomfortable. So also, as you all will probably know, we're going through deep upgrades and activations of the physical body. So the physical body is purging and detoxing. I'm going to do the next video about detoxification and animals, because there is a lot going on with the animals right now in the animal kingdom. But to summarize what's going on in this full moon in September going into October, it is going to be a month of revelations, expansions, again, that decluttering period to get ready for what's to come, to make room for the new, to make room for the newer version of us. We are getting ready to meet a whole new version of ourselves and getting ready to become who we are meant to be without restriction and fear. Allow yourself to actually go through the process of melting in that caterpillar chrysalis transformational period to be able to then transform into the butterfly. You know, I seen a post that said it doesn't happen overnight. The caterpillar doesn't just go into the cocoon and become a butterfly instantly. It goes through a whole process of having to fully break down every atom of its being and transform that into something new. And that is a lot of what we're going through now, the shedding period and the readiness for the new expansion and the new growth that is to come. So if you are in the complete melty period in the caterpillar, that's absolutely fine. If you are the caterpillar feeling slow and stuck, if you are the one going into the transformation, you feel the up and down, but you just kind of not got much energy, or if you're now starting to feel that transformed, transformational, new power, new sense of self, and you're starting to own that and step into that wherever you're at in your journey, just know it's exactly where you're meant to be. But it is about stepping into your truth, stepping into your heart, and being able to own that, being able to own that to yourself, and hopefully then being able to own that to the world. Because the more of us that step into our power and our truth, the more of us that feel able and comfortable and have access to those abilities to be able to do that. So I would definitely say it's about just riding the wave, acknowledging what needs to go, what is coming in, and not being harsh on ourselves if things don't go to the specific plan or to a certain time frame that we had in mind. We have to kind of give more surrender to the flow of divine plan, the divine timing and divine unionship of life. So I hope this helps you guys for September and October. I am a little bit tired, so I do apologise if it's a bit scatty. It's quite late here. And obviously I've got a little human growing. So again, like I mentioned at the beginning, I won't be available over the next couple of months for one-to-one sessions. However, there is the monthly magic membership, and that involves a channeled session, 2 meditations pre-recorded, and some questions and reflections that you can work on each month. That is £17.17 from the website, and that is a way you can stay in touch and still have some sort of activations and reflections for whilst I'm not available for the one-to-one sessions. In regards to the Tuesday night sessions, most of the sessions will be run by Trish. They may not be every single week, but we do have a Telegram group, which I will put all the links to below, so that if you do want to join that Telegram group, please do check that group in terms of knowing whether the sessions are going to be on that night, or that week, should I say. Trish will be letting everybody know what week she will be doing in advance. But I do want you all to know that it's all about staying connected in these times, and it's all about knowing that you are not on your own doing this journey. And if you are new to the awakening journey at this time, and you are kind of just finding all this information all at one time, it can be completely overwhelming, and it can be exhausting, and it can feel like all this stuff's going on, and it's kind of like really daunting. So I would just want to say that a lot of the things that are true, 100% in the awakening, the truth, the things that have come out, a lot of them are now things that is in the clearing up process. So the earth is in her decluttering period for the expansion. So it's ridding everything that no longer serves her, which means all this lower vibrational, nasty stuff that goes on can't exist in this new timeline where we're going. So just kind of have awareness and peace in knowing that what we may be looking at of kind of awakening and truth, I don't personally believe is still going on at the rate and the scale and the level that it was in perhaps 2020. So again, I hope that makes sense, and I just want you guys to know that we are on the right team, if that makes sense. We are on the winning team. We are on the path of light. This ascension is happening no matter what, and it's just about getting ourselves into the most alignment we can do to be able to handle that journey. So I will leave you with that, and I will send you all so much love. And again, you probably will see me maybe for another video, maybe one with Honey as well, before little Bambino comes. But if not, I do send so much love and higher vibrations to each and every one of you. And when I get the calling to pop back on, even if it's just for a very small video, I will do. But until then, please be patient, and I will be back with all new energy activations and some music as well in the new year. So there's going to be a whole new range of things going on, including, you can get access to the affirmation cards and the ebook. They're all available in the meantime. And there is some jewelry and things like that. So there's a whole range of everything on the website. Please do take a look, and there will be future retreats and events in the upcoming year of 2024. So keep your eyes peeled for them, because there's going to be some exciting things, and I'm sure I'll be doing some exciting collaborations in the new year with some awesome people that I've met this year and last. So I send you all so much love. Look after yourselves, take care of yourselves, protect yourselves energetically, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.